Hey guys, let's talk about Pathfinder. I did start my Pathfinder campaign. Now, of course, scheduling is always an issue. Did get through our first session, and I want to give you guys a quick rundown of my first impressions with Pathfinder in case you're thinking about making the switch yourself, or just trying it out, see if you and your friends like it. Now, my campaign takes place in my homebrew world, which I have mentioned here before, called Elani, specifically the continent of Arcadia. This story takes place over 100 years after my previous campaign ended. I basically did my version of a cataclysm. The heroes of the last campaign hit the big cosmic reset button on the world in order to save it from destruction. So obviously there were some things I had to change, some additions I had to make, and a little bit of homebrew I had to search for, because I'm not playing in the Pathfinder version of the Forgotten Realms. Pathfinder has their own world. I'm going to fucking butcher it. Galarian? I think I might actually have that right. I'm not playing in that world. I want to play in the world I created. Some of the things I had to take into account are, for instance, the insane character creation choices available in Pathfinder. There are definitely way more playable races in Pathfinder. A lot of really unique, kind of crazy ones too. There's one race, there's one heritage or ancestry species called the Gorin. Gorin are plant people, and they were created by an archdruid. And it's very specific to the lore of Pathfinder. So I'm like, all right, well, how do I integrate these into my world? Well, if you watch my previous D&D videos, you know that there is a place in my world called Neverwinter, not related to the Forgotten Realms version, where a large Fey crossing basically keeps a region of this snowy tundra temperate all year round. And this was my wife's previous character's home. This is where she came from. So I basically wrote that she created the Gorin in order to protect that region in the absence of the wood elves that used to live there. There's another race called the Vanara, which are like Planet of the Eight people. Well, I ended up making them coming from a different continent. So if a player wanted to play one, the most likely backstory, at least part of the backstory, would be that they're immigrant to Arcadia. Kitsune is another one that I actually have two players playing Kitsune. And basically, switching over to Pathfinder, the way the last campaign ended, gave me free range to say that all these changes were the fuckery of the gods. So, with very limited restriction, I was still able to let my players play whatever they wanted to play and still be able to fit it into my world. Now, mechanically, Pathfinder is extremely similar to D&D. It's a D20 system. Numbers work a little bit different, and it's a little bit more crunchy. There's a little bit more math, but fundamentally it's the same. Probably at this point, the hardest thing that I've had to remember is that stealth checks are supposed to be done in secret. DCs work a little bit different. There's a very specific system to how your DCs should be set. There's about 1 million status effects. That's probably the most daunting change. Just the sheer number of different status effects, which will all affect you mechanically. And I like the way that death saving throws work in Pathfinder so much that if I do go back and run a D&D 5e campaign again, I might actually implement the death saving throw mechanics from Pathfinder to D&D, because it's progressive. It makes it harder for a character that keeps going down to get back up, which I like. That adds tension. And the encounter building system is far above and beyond what D&D does. It's so mechanically sound based on the levels and the different feats available to the players that it is, to my understanding, extremely difficult to get an accidental TPK or for your players to just steamroll one of your encounters. Next session is combat, so we'll see how that works out. But so far it's been fun. It's been a blast. I got a good group of people, so we'll see how it goes. I'm liking how crunchy, I'm liking how specific some of the feats are. Not so much that it doesn't restrict the players, but at the opportune moment, in the heat of battle, it offers some really, really cool stuff to make the players feel like their characters are really awesome and heroic and badass. And that makes it fun for me. So if you want me to keep doing these videos on Pathfinder and what my experience has been, let me know. If you want to hear more about my campaign, also let me know. In the meantime, if you want, you can go to dmkt.jsync.net. That is my game message board. So there you're going to find the post-session write-ups that I do for every session. You'll find lore on my world, information about my player characters, and the NPCs that they meet along the way. It's a constant work in progress. Feel free. Take a look. If you want to steal anything, go ahead. If something inspires you, rip it off for your game. I don't mind. That's all I got for today, so hopefully you like it, and you guys have a great day. Peace out.